everyone, how are you? Before we begin our presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Triwahyuni Martiawati, and I'm going to share you about how to support your ideas in a good public speaking. As we know, public speaking is an essential skill with numerous benefits in various aspects of life. One of them is it helps you to articulate your thoughts clearly, concisely, and persuasively. When we are presenting about a topic, we need strong supporting materials or ideas to bolster the speaker's point of view. And there are three major kinds of supporting materials: examples, statistic, and testimony. Example means a specific case used to illustrate or represent a group of people, ideas, conditions, experiences, or the like. Based on research, giving vivid and concrete examples in your public speaking have a strong impact on listeners' belief and actions. There are several kinds of examples. Brief examples, or usually we call specific instances. You give short explanation from the main idea of the topic. Number 2, extended explanation. It's often called narrative, illustrations, or anecdotes. As a speaker, we have to compile words for a vivid and dramatic story vividly and dramatically. However, we have to remember extended examples are true stories. The stories really happen. And number 3, hypothetical examples. These kind of examples describe an imaginary and fictitious situation. In hypothetical examples, the speakers ask the listeners to imagine of some fictitious conditions, but it relates to the topic spoken. Okay everyone, here I have some tips for using examples on your speech or public speaking. Number 1, use examples to clarify your ideas. They are an excellent way to clarify unfamiliar or complex ideas by giving detailed information of it. Therefore, the listeners can imagine or visualize it. Number 2, use examples to reinforce your ideas. In our speech, we can cite from journal, book, research, or newspaper. Number 3, use examples to personalize your ideas. We can use examples with human interest in our speech. Because what? Because the listeners are usually deeply influenced on it. Number 4, make your examples vivid or richly textured. And number 5, practice delivery to enhance your extended examples. Like I have said before, that extended examples tell a vivid and dramatic story. So when we are delivering our ideas, we need to concern on controlling voice, intonation, speed, expressions, and gesture. Number 2 is statistic. In our single day, we often face to numbers. For examples, money, date, price, math, data, and so on. And for some people, remembering numbers is easier than words. Through numbers, such as statistics, they could elaborate numbers to millions of words easily. They need not to memorize the word, just read the point of numerical data displayed. According to Lord Kelvin, he said that when you can measure what you are speaking about and express it in numbers, you know something about. But when you cannot measure in numbers, your knowledge is meager and unsatisfactory. When we want to present statistics as our data, so the statistic must be representative. Take the data accurately and real. Do not take a random sample as your data. Here are some tips for using statistics in your presentation. First, use statistics to quantify your ideas. Sometimes, using statistics in presenting your data could dramatize in personal terms. For example, you present about the bad effect of eating junk food to your health using statistics. Your listeners see the numbers and they will believe it more than you just present only words. Second, use statistics sparingly. Use statistics in presentation only when they are needed. And then make sure the listeners are easy grasp the idea. And the last is to explain your statistics. Explaining what statistics mean is particularly important when you deal with large numbers, since they are hard to visualize. Because statistics don't speak for themselves. They need someone to elaborate the numbers to words. The data that is presented must be accurate. The speakers must say where the data is taken from so the listeners believe it. The third kind of supporting materials is testimony. Sometimes telling testimony in our presentation is a need because testimony can influence listeners' point of view. Testimony refers to the use of statements, accounts, or experiences from individuals, typically experts or witnesses, to support the points or arguments being made. There are two major testimony. Number one is expert testimony. It comes from someone's knowledge in their fields. For example, the speaker is a doctor and presenting about keeping health in pandemic era. So, the listeners will believe or trust the data. Number two is peer testimony. This kind of testimony is coming from someone's experience. It's opinion, but it can be accountable. In presentation, the speaker are able to use quoting and paraphrasing because they are supporting data. Accurate quotation is making sure we do not misquote someone. Do not violate the meaning of statement we paraphrase. And do not quote out of context. In order to make a good presentation, the speaker should use testimony from qualified and unbiased sources. Identify people you quote or paraphrase. The importance of quoting are evidence, support arguments, and credit to the original sources. And for the importance of paraphrasing are avoiding plagiarism, confirming understanding, and facilitating effective communication. At last, a good speech or presentation needs strong supporting materials. Both examples, statistics, testimony, in order to the listener believe what the speaker says. Thank you for all your attention and engagement today. We've explored about examples, statistics, testimony, and citing sources. I hope you leave with deeper understanding how to support our ideas in presentation. See ya!